Since it's the month of Halloween, I think I should tweak my background just a little bit. So, that's much better. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So it is Halloween, which means that everyone's getting their decorations up, they're getting their Halloween costumes on, and maybe some are going to have a glass of wine and watch a scary movie all on their own. Anyway, so I decided for Halloween I would dive into some creepy stories, from hearing strange sounds in the middle of the night like footsteps, to waking up to the terrifying state of sleep paralysis. So I found some of these stories from some threads where a few people would tell or explain some of their creepiest paranormal experiences. I'm also going to, closer to the end of the video, talk about my own paranormal experience. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the stories. Okay, so this story looks like it's about someone who hears these strange, weird footsteps sometime in the night. Alright, it's late at night, and I'm lying in bed trying to get some sleep. I was watching a movie and got tired, so I decided to get some rest. I wasn't thinking about anything like this or was scared at all, so I know it's not in my mind. I was laying here trying to get some sleep, and I hear someone walking really fast through the house. I think it's my mom or my brother. So I get up and ask what the hell they're doing up so early. It's about 4:30, and why are they stomping through the house? I almost myself when I saw that they were both still asleep. I mean, these footsteps were loud, and I could hear them going from one room of the house to the next. I was freaked out, but I shook it off and went back to lay down. Then, as soon as I shut my eyes, I hear the footsteps again, but going in the opposite direction. That's when I yelled out of my room, "Neil, is that you?" Neil's my brother, and no reply. So I get up again and again. My mom and brother are still asleep, and I know it wasn't my brother playing a prank on me. Because he would not have had the time to go back to his room, I would have seen him. I'm right across the hall, plus he's too old for stupid pranks. And plus he has to be up at 6 for work. What do you guys think I'm dealing with here? So this person replies, "I grew up hearing footsteps in my house from the time my father finished off the attic to make bedrooms for me, my brother and sister. I hadn't made the connection between construction and the strangeness that happened to me for years, until everything was mentioned above. From my earliest memories of sleeping up on the 2nd floor, I would hear footsteps coming up the stairs, and I would call out 'Dad,' but no answer. Lots of other really terrifying weirdness happened as well, but I won't stray from the topic of the thread. I'm positive I was still awake when I heard the footsteps, because I had just gotten in bed every time it happened. Also, it continued for the rest of the time I lived in that house. Even after I had grown up and my sister was married and moved out and my brother was away at college. On many, many nights while sitting downstairs, watching TV directly under my room, I'd hear what sounded like at least half a dozen people walking around and around in my room overhead. It was like there was a party going on. Definitely footsteps, no question. The only ones in that house besides me at the time were my parents and 2 younger brothers who slept downstairs. When that would happen, I'd just leave the house and drive uptown and wait for morning. Hasn't happened to me since leaving that house, and that's been 35 years now. Finally, I'll read one more reply. This one seems a bit more positive. So, you have history, but does your house have history? Does your mom and brother have history with the paranormal? I have a friend who was close friends with a Wiccan. All kinds of crazy things happen because of the relationship. If you have anyone in your life like that, I would suggest getting very far away from them. As soon as his friend moved away, the activity he was experiencing quickly vanished shortly afterwards. It's also best not to entertain his ideas. Don't think about it or let it creep into your thoughts. Thought is a very powerful enhancer of the paranormal. But I really believe more or less you simply heard something that sounded like footsteps. Always jump to logical before paranormal, no matter how creepy it is. If you can convince yourself it was nothing, then it will be nothing. Very good advice. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is sleep paralysis. So let me just quickly give a quick definition of what sleep paralysis is. Sleep paralysis is a temporary inability to move or speak that occurs when you're waking up or falling asleep. It's not harmful and should pass in a few seconds or minutes, but it can be very terrifying. So I have actually been someone who's had sleep paralysis before, but I'll get more into it a little bit later on. But all I can say is yes, it is very terrifying. I decided to research what sleep paralysis actually was. And when I saw there was like a scientific explanation for it, I kind of freaked out a lot less. And it even explained how you could get out of sleep paralysis. And apparently what you do is you remain calm and you just wiggle your toes. Apparently that should activate you to move again. And then I did try those things and it did work. Some people have sworn that it is some kind of strange activity that's going on. So many people have reported when they have sleep paralysis, they see a creepy shadow, and sometimes they'll feel and see this demon on their chest, and it feels like you can't breathe. It feels like it's trying to suffocate you. So again, there's scientific explanation for that, but some people do believe that there's some paranormal work going on there. So I'm kind of curious to know if you guys have had sleep paralysis before, and if you feel it's paranormal, there's a logical explanation. So let me know in the comments below. But anyway, let's get on to the story. I had sleep paralysis episodes. It usually involved the feeling I was in my bed awake and paralyzed, while an ominous black shadow figure stalked the side of the bed, moving around slowly to the base, and would start to either pull me or hover on top of me. I can hear loud growls right next to my ear, angry muttering, and sometimes what sounds like someone very heavy breaking and pounding around the house, slamming doors and such. I can see my surroundings, yet you can't move. I experimented lucid dreaming for several years to try and snap myself out of these episodes. Upon occasion, I can initiate a lucid dream. Sometimes they are fluid, easy to manipulate, and I can consciously choose when to wake up. Don't worry guys, it was just my cat. This is Kitty, by the way. Hello Kitty, do you want to be in the video? Okay, let me just quickly put her down. Anyway, let's resume. Other times, it feels like I'm lucid, but stuck in a spot I woke up in my dream and moved like molasses. Or not at all. I used to be terrified of the growls and noises and the shadow figures, and I still am when a sleep paralysis episode happens. But when I go there straight from a lucid dreaming state, I know what's happening, and I'm able to easily wake myself up from it. Alright, so I think that's it for the stories. Now I kind of want to touch on one of my own experiences. So I've always been a bit of a night owl. I would always be up late, either playing games, drawing, doing work, you name it. So because of this, I would be awake until probably 3 or 4 o'clock. I would hear these weird footsteps from a distance, and then it would almost sound like it was coming closer past my window and then from a distance again. I didn't take much notice of it at the beginning, but then I started noticing this happened almost every night. It always seemed like it was at the same time. Then I decided to actually track the time from when I would hear these sounds. So the first night I did it, I was up just doing my usual things. Then I heard the footstep sounds, and then I timed it. It was 2:58. I didn't really think much of it because it was the first night, so it didn't seem suspicious. But then I continued doing this every night, and then every night it was 2:58. Now, I don't know if this was something paranormal, or I don't know if someone just jogged at that time, but now what made it kind of worse is in that time I would get sleep paralysis. So obviously having all of this happen all at once kind of looked bad. But sometimes I wouldn't even have sleep paralysis in the evening. It could even be in the day. And I remember this one day I was watching either The Conjuring or Annabelle, I can't really remember, but it was one of those kind of movies, and I fall asleep, wake up to sleep paralysis. It's extra creepy because frickin' Annabelle or Conjuring is playing while I can't move. But eventually I did my usual wiggling toe technique and I was able to break out of it. But then a bird comes flying into the window, making this loud bang, and I was scared to say the least. Luckily the bird was okay, it seemed to shake it off a little bit and then fly away. But still, that felt really creepy, especially because in The Conjuring I remember there was a scene where a whole bunch of birds would fly into the window, but that could have just been a coincidence, I don't know. But it just felt off, and I was starting to lose a lot of sleep from this because I was kind of freaked out. So I tell my mom what is going on, and luckily she did believe me because she did explain that once a long time ago she also had this paranormal experience, and she knew I was not one to do this for attention or I was hallucinating or anything. So what she told me to do was to maybe start praying, and maybe just to stop watching horror movies, and to stop reading these things and exposing myself to these things. And then eventually, slowly, it did go away. So again, I don't know if it was paranormal or not. All I can just say is once I started trying to get all of this out of my mind, started praying, started doing all of these things, I felt a lot better. I wasn't hearing the footsteps anymore. I wasn't getting sleep paralysis anymore during this time. So I don't know if it was paranormal, if it was just a coincidence. Maybe it was someone who was jogging. Maybe the sleep paralysis, which does have a scientific explanation, was happening. And then because of all of this happening together, it just all felt very creepy and paranormal, but maybe it was just a coincidence. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you guys believe in these things? Do you guys think whatever I was experiencing was paranormal, or do you think it was a coincidence? And also with other people's stories, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it was also paranormal, or do you think there was a logical explanation for everything? I'm curious to know, so let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, thank you for watching and listening to these stories. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe because I make more videos like this. Anyway guys, thank you. Bye.